right, guys. So, look, you've been begging to get into this game. So, look, we've all had a huge layover. Um, getting ready for this game since we last seen this team play. What was that? The 6th of December. Can't really remember the date, but it was about 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, how are you really feeling? Like try try to remove your fandom just a little bit, and based on what you believe about both these teams, truthfully, how do you feel? What concerns do you have? I guess I'll put it to you like this: what's one thing that you think Michigan needs to do to win, and what's one thing you think Michigan cannot do? They cannot do to potentially lose this game. I'm waiting here. Thank you, Christopher. I like Michigan. Okay. Gotta run, gotta stop the run. I like that try. Well put. Well put. 35-14. Run the ball for Michigan. Run the ball effectively. Just like they have been doing. You don't have to get huge chunk plays, but just make sure that you're doing whatever. I really want to hit on what Tribe said. I think it's simple, but it really captures what Michigan has to do. On offense, they have to be able to run the ball effectively. One, stay ahead of schedule. Continue to put Cade in good position and good opportunities where he doesn't have to do too much, right? He has to. You have the typical 2nd and 3s, the 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s, where Josh Gaddis has multiple options. He can run the football potentially for those 2 or 3 yards, or maybe he can catch Georgia defense off guard. Maybe a couple bubble screens, maybe a couple of hitch routes to the tight end, maybe a flare or a couple trick plays to Donovan Networks. It gives this whole offense so many different options, and it puts the Georgia defense on their heels. So that's why running the ball effectively on offense is so important. On the flip side, to allow this pass rush to have the most effective opportunity to get to Stetson Bennett, you can't allow Georgia to run the ball too effectively, because if that happens and the Georgia offense is ahead of schedule, they don't have to, then they don't have to be in those 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, where Stetson Bennett has to go through 1 or 2 progressions down the field to find an open guy. And guess what that means? That means that our guys get to eat up their offensive line. They get home potentially. So I like that try. Venice, you're speaking my language. Put Georgia in 3rd and longs. Yep, I agree. Yeah, Doughboy, you mentioned double teaming Jordan Davis. One interesting about Jordan Davis is that he's not on the field the whole time. So I don't think we have to start off doing that right away. I would like to see how this offensive line, who's been playing the best in the country, how they do with their typical assignments. There may be some chips and Klein situations where Jordan Davis is lined up a certain gaps. Maybe the center and the guard are both chipping, and maybe the guard climbs to the second level, the center climbs to the second level, and the rest of the play that whoever's on Jordan Davis initially has them. So I don't know if a double team is needed right away. We'll see. He's obviously a fantastic player, but he's not one of those guys where you have to worry about him 24/7, because for one, he's a huge dude. He just doesn't have the energy to go full tilt every play. So we'll see. But he definitely can be an issue for those short yardage situations where Georgia knows Michigan probably is going to run the football, and it may not be easy to run up the gut against the big fella, but we'll see. They had to, let's see, rules. They had to protect Cade so he can throw the ball behind the linebackers. The middle of the field are tight and will have a big game. Well, I will hope so. I think the offensive line's done a really good job of protecting Cade. And I think one thing that we've really seen from Cade is over the last, I'll say 4 or 5 games, he's taken a lot more shots down the field, and his accuracy has improved so much. I mean, that was the biggest concern with the guy, is that, look, he can hit the little short routes, but when we have a guy streaking down down the sideline or down, in the middle field for a potential post route or a tight end going over the middle, he's missing them. Well, the good thing about Cade is that lately he hasn't missed those guys, so that's been really encouraging to see. Let me ask you guys this: if Dax Hill does not play, if he does not play outside of the defensive line, right? So you can't give me a Jabbo, you can't give me Hutchinson. Who is your key guy that you think that needs to step up for his Michigan defense? I mean, obviously, I'll go with Josh Ross, but more importantly, I'll throw another name out there. I'll say DJ Turner. That's a guy who has stepped up throughout this year, who we didn't really know much about coming into the season, and it seems like he's gotten better every single week. I'm not saying he's going to be some kind of big time player for this team going forward, but he has been an interesting ray of sunshine, if you will. KD Brown goes to Rod Moore. Okay, I like that. I like that. No Dax, play more nickel. Potentially. Mazzy and Jeter. Okay. Yeah, think about more, anytime you're putting youth in a situation, a younger guy in a situation where in a big game, you just never know what you're going to get. Now, fortunately, at this late in the season, a guy really isn't, a freshman or a sophomore or whatever you consider underclassmen to be. But that would be an interesting situation. And I guess at the end of the day, there's no ideal replacement for Dax Hill, but definitely look, this team has the ability and has the talent to be able to still be very effective. And by no means should we press the panic button if Dax doesn't play. But it will be I guarantee you for that Georgia offensive coordinator, that's a huge sigh of relief for him not being out there. That's one less impact player to worry about. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, William Rivera. I said that this late in the season. I don't know where you agree with me or you were saying I was wrong. I said this late in the season, most guys have experience, but I was saying in terms of you, it's still, it's your first year of college football or second year of college football, no matter if you're a freshman or sophomore, it still could be a lot. I mean, no, put it to you this way: nobody on this roster has been in this situation before. So I mean, look, the lights are big. Not everybody can handle that. Not saying they won't, but that's always a factor that you have to consider. But we'll see. Well, Aaron, Aaron, you made a good point about Gaddis. We'll see what's going to happen to Gaddis. Look, the guy has had an incredible turnaround in terms of his tenure here in Michigan. I mean, that's a guy who most of his fan base wanted out. If you would have asked our Michigan fan base this time last year, a lot of people wanted Josh Gaddis gone. But look what he's done in 1 year. He's totally rebuilt well, he didn't really have a great image to begin with, not a lot of experience, but he's totally built up a really good image for himself. And now you're looking at a guy who's going to probably begin a head coaching job as soon as next year. Michigan will probably now Wes Weber Jr. says Michigan will probably need some success on fourth and short downs. Do you mean on offense or defense? I assume you mean defense, right? Because you're talking about defense, so either way, that you're yeah, I need you to elaborate before I give an answer on that. I mean, on offense, yeah. So potentially. I mean, anytime you're in a game where you believe that scoring is going to be at a premium and you need to be able to take advantage of any opportunities you have where you're a remote scoring position. Let's say that, those fourth and short situations are when Michigan's at to Georgia's 42 or 40-yard line. Yeah, those are opportunities where you trust your defense. If you don't get the conversion, you might want to try to take advantage and see if you can convert a couple of those because maybe that can be the difference. That field goal touchdown can be the difference in winning the game. So I agree with that. Okay, one more. I agree with that, Wes. D Brown says if we get 49 hard ball, we win. If we get down, Brown, Harbaugh, we lose. Well, almost. Jimmy got to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but ironically, he lost against another Harbaugh. so maybe his own kryptonite championship game is his brother, and thankfully he's not playing against him on Friday. 4 sacks, two turnovers. Michigan 31, Georgia 10. Wow, Change Channel really is putting themselves out there. Well, that's very optimistic. I would love to say that Michigan's going to win that easily. But fine. Let's end on this, guys. We'll do our scoring predictions then. I'll go Michigan 28, Georgia 24. Michigan 28, Georgia 24. Michigan scores the last minute touchdown with about a minute and 15 to go. Georgia gets the ball with a chance to win it, and Michigan comes out with a critical stop and advances to the national title game. I got 35-14, 21-16. Georgia. Wes is going Georgia to beat Michigan in 24-23 gut punch. Then it's going 31-24 Michigan. 35-24 Michigan. I got Michigan 40. Les Toast, one of our most loyal listeners or watchers. Michigan 41-17. God, you guys have a lot of confidence. I love it. Look, I'll tell you one thing. If Michigan's winning 41-17, we all gonna have a really good New Year's Eve. It's gonna be a really good New Year's Eve regardless, but that's pretty fun right there. I mean, how cool is it we can start talking about the national title game and the game's not even over with? That'll be cool. D Brown going 38-20. Matthew Stevenson, go blue 14-10. So you got an old-fashioned nail biter with a low scoring. I like it. Throwback. No, Wes, I know we all hope you're wrong, man. But look, Georgia is a really good team, guys. It's a reason why they've been number one most of this year. Michigan could easily lose this game. And guess what, guys? There will be no shame at all if Michigan didn't win. This has been a hell of a season. I didn't really say it earlier, but it feels like I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way. It feels like this is everything is gravy at this point. This team has and I'm not normally this person, with say, hey guys, good job, regardless what happens. I'm not normally that type of person, but based on what this team was expected to do and what they've overcome and what they have accomplished, getting the monkey off their back, beating Ohio State, winning a Big Ten title game, everything they do now is gravy. Of course, you don't want to see Michigan go out there and lose in embarrassing fashion, but man, at this point, it would be just gravy if they're able to continue to win. Yeah, D Brown, I get that they haven't had the strongest schedule, but I mean, look, I still give credit is due. It's not like they're Coastal Carolina would last year during COVID. I know that's not an equal comparison, but I'm just saying, like, a team that's playing in a terrible schedule and they're having a great season. Look, I know you take it with a grain of salt with a team strength of schedule, but still, they were rolling teams. It's not like they were winning nail biter to start their season. Most games they were destroying teams, and that is something to be said about that. And you got one thing you got to consider too is that, look, Nick Saban is Kirby Smart's kryptonite. So who knows? Georgia plays any other team. Maybe maybe Saban just has Kirby's number 2, and we'll find that out as well. But I see your point. I'm not saying there's no there's no validity to it. Sure, I get it. You play what's on your schedule, and I think the most important thing to remember, even when a team has a weaker schedule, because think about Clemson, guys. I mean, the years that Clemson were, in the playoffs and they beat Bama, was it 2019? If I'm not mistaken, or maybe 18. I can't remember off memory. I mean, Clemson never has some kind of great schedule. The ACC sucks. Let's say it like So, but they still show up in the playoffs without having huge tests in their regular season, and they seem to not miss a beat, and they're ready to play against that higher competition. So you gotta be careful with this whole schedule game. I'm not saying there's no validity to it, but that's not everything. Okay. Okay. Well, look, I said in the last stream, I really feel like, and I could be wrong, it wouldn't be the first time that this Michigan team really feels like a team of destiny. For what they have to overcome, you kind of feel like one of those special years where um, this team it was meant to do something special. And I don't think the story. And when I say about special, I don't think it just ends with a Big Ten title game. I think there's a legitimate chance this team could be hosting up that clear crystal ball, um, or Dr. Pepper. Man, that's the old one. Which one is it, guy? Is this the Dr. Pepper Trophy now, or is it the clear crystal ball still? I still think they do the clear crystal ball. If I'm not mistaken. Um, I typically kind of tune out a little bit during national title games now. 'Cause I'm so sick of being the same teams. I still watch, but by the time the trophy presentation shows up, I kind of tune out. Not exactly sure which trophy they're going to be hosting when they win a national title, but I definitely believe that there's a chance. Thanks, the Dr. Pepper Trophy. Um, I definitely think there's a chance that this could be one of those special years in which we get to talk about, like 97. We no longer have to hear about that stigma. You guys haven't won a championship in 97. I think it's one of those years where we get to say, you know what, we're a national title winner, potentially.